Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I'm a professional intuitive empath for those of you that are new here, and I wanted to talk to you today about how sometimes God can protect you from yourself, and sometimes not getting something that you think you want is probably a real blessing. Now, this is not what, for those of you that have been on this channel, this is not exactly what you may think that this is going to be about. This is not about my past. This is actually about something last year that I wanted. I wanted an opportunity really bad, and I thought the opportunity was heading straight for me, and I thought I had assessed the opportunity correctly, and I thought that I knew what it was about, and I thought that I knew what the variables were that were involved and how it would affect me and how I could be beneficial to the energy bringing the opportunity to me. But it was, alas, not meant to be. And in fact, I noticed that my angels went out of their way to protect me from myself. And here's why. I'm going to talk to you about why this may happen in your life too. Because I wasn't at all in a healthy space to really be my best in that opportunity or to really give my best energy. Also, the opportunity may not have actually been for me at all. And actually, maybe it was something that I just wanted to soothe an energy that was going on in my life that was uncomfortable, which was a feeling of loss. Someone that I love passed away. And it was a unfortunate and untimely death for sure. Excuse me. And seltzer, y'all, you know what, if you know, you know. Um and so I felt very much obligated to be in that moment. I had to be in that moment. It wasn't even an obligation. I was in the moment. But I, at the time that I wanted the opportunity, if I would have gotten to have what I wanted because I was an emotional wreck, I would have destroyed it. Or I would not have been a good steward of it, or it would have been not appropriate for me, or fill in the blank. And for some of you guys, you may have things like that in your life. You want something, but you're not in the right alignment for the thing, or maybe you'll never be in the right alignment for the thing. 6 months later, after I was at the most intense energy of the thing that I thought that I wanted and felt like was what God, what was being brought to me. You know, we always hear the voice of our angels and ancestors, and sometimes we hear our own ego and our own emotions that are kind of bubbling up. And my angels were real clear with me. They said, yes, you do want this opportunity. And yes, it seems exactly right for you. And yes, the other side of it seems like all the things that fall into alignment with your energy. However, daughter, are you healed enough for this? Do you even have the energy to be your best in this? And they protected me from myself. Things happened that shifted everything so that I couldn't be myself because I was working through things and my angels wanted me to be whole and healthy. And they said, talk to us in 6 months. If you still want this thing in the same way that you did before, and if you are still sure that this is your opportunity, then let us work out the details. Let us work out the details when you've actually healed. Now, let me tell you something. In the moment, I felt like this. And there was a couple of opportunities that came to me, emotional, business, personal, and I acted in that moment because regarding business and things, I had to show up, I had to show my face, I had to be professional, I had to sell my energy energetically, right? What I mean by that is I had to sell what I was doing, and I had to be head and shoulders above the rest. And it turns out that I was. When I got feedback from some of the things that I was working with, they said to me, you set the bar. You set the bar. And that's what I intend to do. And that's what I think some of you guys do as well. But I was setting a bar out of a place of depletion. I was emotionally just distraught and overwhelmed and exhausted from the passing away of someone. And so I was like, how do I show up and be my best here? And somehow I figured that out. But in all of the areas, God didn't let me have exactly what I wanted. In fact, there was a 6 month delay as I healed before things actually came to fruition. So the seeds I planted over the summer last year are coming to fruition just now. And I wondered, I said, God, what's this delay about? And they said, you weren't ready. You weren't ready for what is about to happen to you because you are still broken and still unhealed. Now, I promise you, I argued with God and my angels, and I said, no, I am ready. This opportunity wouldn't come to me right now if I wasn't ready. This opportunity, and he said, yes, it's here for you right now, but you're not ready for what's going to happen once the floodgates of blessings open and once everybody understands exactly what's been going on behind the scenes. And that is what I wanted to just chat with you guys about today. Sometimes we think we're ready for something, whether it be a business opportunity, as this was for me, or a romantic opportunity, as it may be for some of you guys, or a friendship opportunity. We think we're ready for something, but if we got into it from an unhealed state, or if it was thrust upon us when we're in an unhealed and transformational state, what will happen is we will find ourselves fumbling the ball. And I didn't spend years of my life, as Kobe says, dribbling at the gym. I didn't spend years of my life doing layups energetically and falling and twisting my ankle and getting back up and showing up early and showing up when no one believed in me and doing things on my own when people thought I should stay in a group and figuring out my own voice and investing into myself financially. That's dribbling in the gym. Okay. When Kobe talked about the fact that you got to be the first one there and you've got to do it, because there will come a moment when it's lights, camera, action, time for some action, where it's lights, camera, and action. When the stadium is full, pre-COVID, yeah? And everybody's screaming and it's down to the buzzer, and the ball that's in your hand, the thing that's been your baby, the thing you've been practicing, it's in the air and you're hoping it makes it. And then it does, and it's nothing but net. But sometimes you're benched. I was benched. I was benched emotionally. I was benched financially for many years. And God said, even in your pain, we still see your power, and we're going to use you, daughter, but we're going to hold this back for such a time as this. Now, some things that we want, that's business. For you guys listening, maybe romantic, right? You think you want a thing. You think a thing will fix you. I have certainly felt that many times in my life. But what I did in this last year, energetically, was I healed. My friendship issue was what was healing. And I healed that. And I didn't jump into codependent new connections. I didn't enmesh myself with anybody. I had my closest partnerships this year are with people that I consider business partnerships. I have an editor. I have a business manager. I have a CPA. These were the people that were the only ones that I chatted with. And I wasn't chatting with them on a daily basis. But what I will tell you is I didn't really have someone that was right next to me rolling in the deep or in the mud because I was emotionally distraught. I dealt with what I had to deal with on my own, which was really hard for me as a codependent. You know, I feel like codependency is like alcoholism. You're always recovering. You have to be very careful because some things will sneak up on you that are really delicious. But as a codependent, what I did was I purposely kept energy away because I didn't have a lot to give, but I also was very aware when I felt the need to attach. Some things are not always for you, but that doesn't mean that your flesh will not be like, boom, right? If you are an empath here listening, you have codependency issues, okay? It is what it is. You may be working through them, you may be acknowledging them, you may be rising above them, as I am, but it is in our nature, especially when we're wounded, to attach to something else. Now, I've watched people in my past not heal themselves and jump from relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship, whatever it is, right? Job opportunity to job opportunity, never asking, what am I bringing? What do I have to offer? Am I emotionally and energetically available for this connection? Can I be a friend to this person? Can I be a partner to this person? Can I be a lover to this person? Can I be an employee? Or can I be a boss if you're an entrepreneur? What do you have to give? But also, sometimes the things that you want to maybe indulge in aren't for you. And if you give yourself some time, you might realize that. Or if it is for you, the angels will work it out. They will ignite the interest from the company that you may want to get the attention of, or maybe that job that you're wanting to acquire. Something will happen where behind the scenes, people start taking a look at your energy, even when you're not doing anything except for showing up and being excellent. For those of you that are wanting to attract partners and you're thinking, well, I think this partner is my partner and I da 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 da. Trust me, y'all, I get it. However, let God do the work. Easier said than done, yeah, but I've done it. I've done it when it's been hard. I've done it when I've not gotten my instant gratification. I've done it when I have thought I'm never going to get this thing. And then somehow I get the thing. And it's not because I manipulated it. It's because I stood integral in what I had to offer. I understood my emotional capacity or my lack therein if I was wounded, as I was last year. So for relationships, for business opportunities and whatnot, I was chomping at bits to have things. But God said, let us bring it to you. It's so much better. That's the message today. You may want something and you may be right, or you could be wrong. I watched God move things out of my path last year because he was saying, at this time, this is not right for you. Because what you'll do is totally and royally screw it up because you are emotionally not available. We always talk about our DMs and whatever not being emotionally available. Empath, are you emotionally available for a partnership, or are you just trying to be codependent because it hurts? Because that was a question I had to ask myself last year. Do I have room in my life for new besties? Because I don't think that I'd be a good bestie right now. As I was in last year, these were the conversations I had with myself. Because the truth is, I have nothing to give. I had to heal. I had to replenish my resources. I had to be available. When the companies that I freelanced for came calling, I had to pull my ish together. Sometimes you got to show up when you have nothing to give and do your best. But God held back floodgates of prosperity and abundance until I was ready to stand in it, confident, and receive it. So take a look at your life and be honest with yourself. Sometimes, it reminds me of that Garth Brooks song, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. I so desperately wanted to connect just so that I wouldn't feel alone. But God wanted me to feel alone last year, and I did. I don't feel that way anymore, but I'm in a different headspace, and that's what you need to know. You'll have the opportunity to evolve. But if you're on this channel, there are no shortcuts. Sometimes you just got to walk through that dark night of the soul by yourself, and you still have to show up. Y'all, I had to show up to my clients every day and have insight. I had to show up in my marriage and be emotionally available, and I had to show up to the friends that were loving me. And I wasn't the best of friends, I will tell you. I kept a lot of distance and healed myself. As I'm an empath, I understood I needed to isolate in order to really heal. This year I'm also in that stage of isolation regarding what's healthy for me. I'm very aware of my energy and who I give it to, and that's what shifted for me. But what I will say is, I didn't just latch into a thing. Some of you that are jumping from relationship to relationship, it's because you have not healed that codependency. If you're a serial monogamist, that's okay. No judgment, right? But ask yourself why it is that you don't ever take any time between a relationship or another sexual connection or whatever, right? There's something there. And last year I had to look in the face of my gaping wound of codependency, and I had to say, all I want to do is freaking latch to a thing or an idea or a person. But when I looked around, God made sure to keep all of those things just out of my reach. It was done purposely because he knew better. He said, when I bring you a new opportunity or a new person, you will connect. You will not latch. Because we're going to remove that part of you. And we're enlightening you to the fact that you have a tendency to do that. And so now you can never unsee it. They say ignorance is bliss. But Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. I saw myself last year wanting to make myself feel soothed by creating new connections that could be fully enmeshed. We are powerful creators. I can have anything I want, but for once in my life, I listened to what I wanted versus what was wanted for me by my angels and ancestors. And they said, we have a better way, sis. If you give us some time, we can take you into something that's absolutely divine regarding your empire, regarding who seeks out your skills, regarding all of that, regarding connections in the future. We can bring you the real and right things. Don't just do what feels right. Don't be impetuous. That's the lesson that I learned in this last year. So I pass that along to you. All right, guys, I love you so much. Check yourselves, check your codependencies, check what you want, check what you think you want, check what you're desperate for, and check back in with yourself a few weeks, a few months later. I will tell you, the intensity that I felt last June, July about some things that I wanted and why weren't they happening and being frustrated is gone. Everything in God's timing, yeah? We've got time. But in that moment, what I did was I developed myself, and I want you to do the same. Whew, do the same. It is so worth it, because that obsessive codependent energy that I felt is gone. I no longer feel the need to be anything or anyone for anybody. And that's because I stood in the part that was uncomfortable. When you're codependent, there's nothing more uncomfortable than being independent. But now I realize how wonderful that feels to me. I owe nobody anything. I am not dependent on anybody's opinion. Everything I do is something that I do. And even when I ask for people's opinions now, guys, I'm sorry, I'm still rambling. Even when I ask for somebody's opinion now, I realize that I don't care what they say. Before, I used to be so focused on what people said and what they thought, and I could feel their energy and it would affect me. And now I'm like, I really don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because what I realize is constructive criticism is necessary for growth, but every friend of yours will have an opinion about what you're doing. And what I did was, in order to protect myself in this last year and in this one, is I just stopped talking to people about things that I'm doing. I just stopped having conversations with people. People would want to talk to me, and I purposely shortened the phone call. I purposely shortened the email correspondence. I purposely shortened the text. I stopped feeding into what other people thought. It would be one call specifically, guys, just a quick example, where, like, let's say somebody would call me and they'd want to talk about one thing, but what they'd really want to talk about is something maybe that they saw on my YouTube content, and they want to tell me what they felt about it, or what their girlfriend felt about it, or what their boyfriend felt about it, or what their husband felt about it. I don't care. I make the content, and if you choose to consume it, God bless you. But I don't really want to chat about if you think it's too militant or if you think it's a little too much. I don't care. And since I realize, and this is just another thing for you empaths, sometimes you have to be vigilant about protecting yourself. Since I realize that some people literally cannot not go into their own nature to give you their opinion of what you're doing, I just restricted the people that I realized couldn't restrict themselves. Sometimes you'll have to be the referee to your own spiritual energy. People are people. So if they're used to being invasive or wanting to be included, or opining when you never ask for their opinion, then you protect yourself and just don't let them in. If you're going to be affected by it, and I felt like I would have been last year, then you just don't let them in. It's just that simple. I never thought it was that simple. I struggle, and as an empath, many of you struggle too, with boundaries and understanding that people don't get to have an opinion in your life. I have friends and people that I care about dearly, but if I've asked them not to do a thing and then they do it, then I told them. I had one friend specifically, guys, who would talk to me about an ex-narc, yeah? This is many, many years ago, right? And she would bring up the ex-narc as I was healing. And I told her in the beginning of the healing, I said, I don't want to hear about this narc at all. And if I do hear you talk to me about the narc, what I'm assuming is that you're opposition. As the kids say, you're an op, right? Or that you are in cahoots. Because if you would bring to me the energy of someone who was so abusive, and you know, and you saw it up close, then why on earth am I friends with you? Because you seem to want to get a reaction out of me. People are real tricky about how they get your energy, guys. Energy vampires, even the most well-meaning ones, do come. And I noticed that year after year, she would just pop up. Oh, I ran into her at a grocery store. Oh, I took a picture from her from behind the counter. And they would come and tell me the stories. And I would be like, I don't give up. I don't care. And so what I just did was I backed that person out of my life because she couldn't behave herself. That's something you might need to know today. I was like, why am I making this video? They said this is why. Some of you guys need to know that it's okay for you to back somebody out of your life who is not respecting your boundaries. Do I still love this girl? Amen. Do I hug her neck? Sure do. Do I see her on birthdays? Absolutely. But she does not have access to my life, because I never know when she's gonna. Now, here's the thing. I've healed from that narc and I'm no longer triggered by that narc, but I didn't like the energy of it. I was like, why does it take me to tell you something 25 times and you still violate me? Empaths, people will do that with us. You can say no, no, and no. You can say it in all the languages, nine, nits, no, and they still are coming at you because they think that you're a pushover, because in some part of this incarnation you have been. These are facts. People do to us what we have allowed, and that's why I'm saying don't allow it anymore. I don't know if I'll see any of my friends this year. I'm going to keep it 1,000 because I have other things that I'm nurturing that matter more than making people around me feel comfortable with my absence. My absence is my absence, and my presence is my presence. And your presence is your presence, and it's a blessing when you show up. And I'm not saying that to be, I think we don't value ourselves enough to realize what we bring. Now that I understand my energy and what it is, it's been the most eye-opening thing, and that's why I want to pass it along to you. Take stock. Go and watch my video about the umbrella of the empath, or the empath umbrella. It was a brilliant download. Not brilliant because I said it, but brilliant because it came through me. I'm a conduit for you guys. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I thought I was going to talk about my favorite preschool teacher who has passed away. But it turned into a thing about understanding the majesty of your energy. No one is entitled to it. Don't let people siphon it. They'll do it. If I don't want to talk to anybody this year, God bless it, I'm not. If I don't want to physically see anybody this year, I won't. The people that I see, I trust. When I let people back into my life in a way that I'm comfortable with, it's because I feel like they will honor me when we are in each other's presence, that there will be an equal give and take and exchange. Some of you guys need to check the people around you. The energy vampires are insidious. They could be your best friend. They could be your mama. They could be a lot of things. I've done a lot of checks this year, and I've made videos even here about protecting my energy financially from people in my life that I literally am married to, and my actual mother. I have no regrets about it. I wasn't wrong. They had to do their own evolution. You know, the other day my mom called me and she said, I woke up at 4:44. What does that mean? It was on the clock and whatever. My mother, who grew up Catholic and converted to Episcopalian because Catholicism was too staunch, called and asked me a question about an angel number. She has not believed in what I've done. She has not understood it. This does not run in our family. There is no lineage of it. This is something from my past life. She's never understood who I was. But in that moment, God of wonders orchestrated a thing for her to call me and say, what does 444 mean, daughter? When she doesn't believe in what I do and is quite skeptical about who it and what it is. That's how God will bring people to you when their energy's right. That's my mama. I love her, y'all. I talk to her every day that Jesus sends, but I don't talk to her about my spirituality every day that Jesus sends. But now she's coming and asking me questions. That's what will happen. My husband, who didn't understand this, now will lay his hand and pray for me if I'm not feeling well. We'll pray to his angel, which he understands now, that works with him. We'll talk to his customers about his angel. Will understand spiritually the importance of gratitude. I couldn't change people because people can't be changed. People have to want to evolve and change themselves. But I protected my energy from people that I loved very much until they did evolve. And now they come to me. And that's how it always happened. First they call you crazy. Then they copy you. And then they realize you're onto something the whole time. Protect your energy, ladies. Don't be apologetic about that. It's all you have. It's your greatest resource if you're an empath, and an intuitive if you're a light worker. Protect your energy and wait for the timing when the right thing comes to you. Be anxious for nothing because God hears you. The Bible says he'll fulfill the desires of your heart. I had strong desires last year, in the middle of the year, strong desires for success, for acquisition, for love and acceptance, for connection, for physical connection. I had strong desires. And God said, do not be impetuous, daughter. I've heard you, and I'll answer you when you're ready and when I'm ready for you to have it. Amen. Love you guys. Have a great day. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.